This is not gonna make a lot of sense to most. I don't need a lot of money. I just need enough to not worry about money. If money is here on a list, there's something right here. When I stepped away from late night, from just working for a minute, I was able to see life clearer and realize that I didn't need more of that. And I found out what I needed. I needed more personal life. I needed a kid. I needed to be a dad. I wanted to be a dad. And I wanted to pick him up from school. I didn't want to be busy. I didn't want to be the dad. Dad, where are you? You're at Yuck Yucks in Atlanta. You know, I didn't want to be that dad. Richard Pryor once came to my first condo. And I said, I don't have no furniture, Rich. And he says, just have some Cavassier. We'll sit on the floor. I want to see what you bought. So Richard comes to my house and we're drinking Cavassier. And Richard said, I used to have a place like this. It was actually the last time in my life I was happy. Now, I'm sure that was exaggeration, that was hyperbole, but he said it. And as I got older, I realized what he meant. Life ain't about show business. It's just a job. And sometimes we make, I wanna knock the bar up here, and I wanna have this and that, and I wanna do this and that. And you get to the end of your life and you say, they forgot me anyway. I don't care how good you are or how well you do something, people are gonna forget you. So decide what's important. Be present as a father, be present as a son, be present as a husband. Those things are so much more important than, I wonder if they'd get rid of Kimmel if I can get in there. I got mine.
Arsenio said a lot right there. And a lot of times with successful men or men that want to accomplish things, this is the bridge that they must cross. What is the fine line between being there and supporting my kids and my family versus my own legacy and what I want to do and the dreams that I want to accomplish? And man, this a lot of this stems from our want/need for money. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like recently, in the past several months, there's been a lot of transition in my life, and the number one thing that I had to get rid of out of my mindset was that money was going to fix certain things, and that chasing money or chasing accomplishments was going to be the great eraser of whatever issues I got going on or whatever issues is going on in my life. Not even with me, but with other people too. Um, but not knowing that every decision that you're making is influenced by money or your bottom line. Not knowing that you're putting aside so many things that matter way more than money, fame, or accomplishment. And Arsenio hit it right on the head. Now with me personally, I there's no kids in my life right now, but just being present with your family. I don't know. I didn't know what that meant. Like present, I'm here. What are we talking about? No, 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 no. No, presence is more than just your actual being of there. It's your influence and how you talk, your influence and how you think, or in how you laugh, or maybe there are some teachable moments there. You know how many small, minuscule, teachable moments there are that makes the biggest impact on your life with just not only your father. I can only speak from a father, but it's both parents. But I can only speak from a father's point of view on this. Like those little itty bitty lessons that you learn just by sitting down and being with your father. Those are the things that shape who you are as a person and how you perceive life a lot of times. And if you're not present and you're not explaining those things, or you're not always giving those little bitty lessons out to your kids or whoever it is that you're supposed to be around and spending time with, then is your presence really there? Is your influence really there? Are you really pouring in and talking to your family? Like those are the things that really matter. And in this busy, 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 nonstop busy life that we all live, we all have to take the time to just take a time out, pause, and think about what really matters. Because if money is the decision maker in everything that you do, eventually it may not be next week, it may not be next month, it may not be next year. It may take 5, 10, 20 years, but it's all going to come crashing down, dog. It is. Steady focused on the priority being money, fame, legacy, all of that. And then you get home, and then what? There's nothing. Your presence ain't felt. Some people ain't looking forward to seeing you. Kids don't necessarily want to hang out with you. And these are the things that are way more important than any amount of money could ever fix because money can't fix that. Only you and your time can fix that. And I think a lot of people come to that realization way later on in their careers when like it might be too late to try and fix it, or you can fix it as best you can or as much as you can, but like it won't be as good as it could have been. And these are the things that we got to think about, man. Like where we spend our time, what we do with it. How the people that love us the most are affected. Because First Timothy 6:10, is the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, and it could not be more true. It couldn't, because everybody's not going to be aligned on the bottom line, and that being the deciding factor on, do I want to go here or do I just want to not do this? Do I want to, have this little bit of happiness here, or do I just, stick it out and try and, make it work with what we have? And when it's like that, man, you bring everybody down in the crib. Or when you're constantly disappointing and when you're constantly not showing up to things that matter the most, birthday parties, school events, graduations, whatever the case may be, something to where your presence is felt. And look, y'all, guilty as charged with me. I've explained on this pod that I kind of got used to missing out, or people missing out on me because of the fact that I had to work all the time, or I had things to do on holidays, like being a DJ or being in radio during the holidays or during major events. Like you're always, especially if you're in demand, like you're always going to be working on holidays and stuff. But at what point is it enough? At what point do we sit down and be like, damn, what really matters at the end of the day? And the thing that really matters is the people who love you the most. And really, honestly, if we talking about legacy, like what bigger legacy could you leave than with your kids? Not your accomplishments, not how much money you done made, not how many awards you have, none of that. It's about them kids. Because the kids is carrying your blood. The kids is carrying your DNA. The kids is carrying your family history. That is the real legacy. Those are the real gems in the world. Because okay, the things of accomplishment, yeah, they bring you certain status, they bring you a certain comfortability in life. It brings you a lot of access. It does. But what are you really thirsting for at the end of the day? What does your heart really crave and desire? What is it that really drives you and moves you and motivates you to work? Those are the things that we have to contemplate and think about a lot of times. Because if you're moved by the wrong thing, money, legacy, awards, accomplishments, or whatever, and not the right thing, kids, family, spending time with your loved ones, all that type of stuff, it's eventually going to crash and burn at the end, dog. It is. So money, I think the thing that helped me with my mindset and how I think about money is that money is used as a tool more so than something that we need to hoard or covet all the time. This money is not ours. It's used to help better mankind. That's how I'm looking at it. Um, and the money is going to come and go. There's going to be seasons of when you're dry, but God is all you have to trust that God is always going to keep you afloat. You have to trust that God is always going to make some type of way. That's been a big thing for me and why I make certain decisions on no, I'm not doing this for no amount of money. I'm not because God is always going to reward you and give you something better and bigger at the end of the day. Always. And it's that trust and belief in that, that you know that God is always going to have your back. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, me being a human and trying to take control of everything, that was a big part of why I was so zoned in and focused in on, you know, trying to make as much money as possible. But dog, look, at the end of the day, you have to trust and believe that God is always going to hold you up. And then there are going to be seasons of overflow. There are going to be seasons when, damn, I'm getting a check here, I'm getting a check here, I'm getting a check. Like God is going to always get you right, dog. And not having that belief in him can get you in all sorts of trouble when it comes to when we're thinking about decision making with money. So, I mean, look, just think about these things and what matters to us the most because if it's money or if it's kids and family and legacy, no matter what it is, you have to live with that decision at the end of the day. And you got to live with either the consequences of your actions and how it affects your family, or you could be there, be present, and be amongst your loved ones around the people and the things that matter the most.